Hi, Brian, ZL3XDJ, out and about a wee bit in the garden again. Thanks for popping in and having a watch. So we just come outside. We've got a bit of a storm coming the weekend. We're just going to have a wander around and just check the antennas are okay. But antenna wise, here's the 40 metre vertical antenna, which got a few guide ropes on and seems to be pretty stable at the moment. This is where the 20 metre vertical used to be, and this is just a 20 metre elevated vertical, 2 metres off the ground. I think I've got a 7 metre mast, piece of wire comes down from the top. I've got a little connection box that I made, just got a coax socket and an earth catch where I connect the radials to, and that's all it was. And as I say, that it, for me, changing over to the elevated vertical from the grounded vertical give me an extra 1 to 2 S points all the time. Have a look over here, see what we've got. Nothing too flash. I think it took me about half an hour to build this. So this is the 20 metre elevated vertical antenna. Obviously it's a 7 metre pole, got a wire comes down, radiating element comes down to the top of this wee box, and as I say, the box is just one of these wee project boxes. Put a coax socket on the side. Inside I've just got 2 little mounting soldering lugs. So the one at the bottom, I'm not sure if you can see it sticking out here, the one at the bottom is where I actually fix the radials to. Fasten to the tree. Fasten to the tree. No, doesn't have to be anything flash. You know, you want something to work. You don't want something to. In my case, I'm not bothered if it doesn't look good, but if it works, and this one works. This one works fantastically. I have upgraded it. Originally we had. I'll have a look. We had this radial here. We had one radial going long path, compared to the 20 metre vertical that was on the ground back over there. Just this one vertical and one radial gave me 1 to 2 S points gain. I did lots of tests with reverse beacon network, looking at SDR receivers around the world. Every one for about 3 weeks I did tests, and this antenna in this location just give me 2 S points. You know what I've done in the meantime. I've upgraded this one. I've actually put. I've now got 4 radials on it. 4 radials on it. I don't think that putting more radials on it made any difference to the strength of signal that was going out. Just switch the camera on. Yeah, adding more radials didn't seem to make any difference to the signal strength 10,000 miles away. But I did note that receive seemed to be a little bit quieter, having 4 radials instead of 2. I have no idea why. I don't even go into, looking at all the specifications of antennas I make. I just get the antenna set up, tuned, and then, if I go on the air every day and I'm working, talking to stations 10,000 miles away, I'm happy. This in particular one, I left this antenna up for, I think about 3 months. And as you can see, again, it's just fastened to the tree. I get no adverse effect. People say, oh, you've got to have verticals, right out in the open and away from everything and all this type of thing. I don't find that, to be honest. To be completely honest, I just don't find that makes any difference. And then at one point, I was talking to Peter, G3OJB, who I have a chat with on CW, on 20 metres from time to time, great signals. And Peter was talking about this type of antenna, elevated verticals. in the past with a norm. You know, that's what everybody made a vertical, was an elevated vertical, because you got less low loss. You've got low loss with the with this type of antenna because it's away from the ground, and you only need, you know, a couple of radials. You don't have to put loads and loads of radials, you know, all over the ground and round and round. These are just fastened over there to the fence behind me here, and fastened to a tree. That's it. Very simple. But then what we did, because of experimenting before with parasitic reflectors on this particular antenna, that's what I decided to do, as quite a few of you know. Again, this is about roughly, we're not going into specific things here. This is, again, just fastened to a tree starting to grow around it. This one has now got one here somewhere. This is got a 4 radials pointing long path for me. This reflector is roughly about 4 inches longer than the director, and about 100 kc further down the band, obviously. Now, with all the experiments I've done with these 2 antennas here in my location, I found over, I think maybe about 2 months, maybe longer now, roughly, using all the you know, talking to people, because you know, you get a regular field of people you talk to and the signals you receive when the propagation's normal or settled, and using reverse beacon network, and as I say, listening to SDR receivers all around the world, using the reflector, I get a solid, I get 2 S points gain over the single vertical I had on the ground originally. That's 2 S points, and the noise has dropped quite a bit. I'm really surprised. Just simple antennas that anybody can make. Couple of fiberglass masts or whatever you got, some bits of wire, and yeah, some people say, "Oh, what about the radials? You've got the radials. You know, they'll cut your head off, and when you cut the grass and all things like this." So what I've actually done is I've made them on the end, so they're quick release. I can just untie them, bring them back to the tree, hang them on the tree, do the lawns, and just clip them on either end. You go again. Some of the, because I'm only a little fella, so so some of the radials, you know, I can just go under with the lawnmower, and yeah, it's just sort of a bit of a, you know, a review, just to let people know that not all the antennas. You know, you see lots and lots of people on YouTube, you know, saying, "Oh, I've just got this antenna, I've just got that antenna. Oh, it works fantastic," you know, and it probably does for them, but not all antennas, you know, will work that good for everybody else. I think after, as I say, I've been here 14 years, and I've had, oh dear me, the amount of antennas that I've strung up in trees and poles, and tried out, you know, verticals with, radials without, G5RV and dipoles and V's, loops on the ground. You know, I have a look back at my little diary, and it's amazing. But after 14 years, as I say, to find an antenna system that gives me 1 to 3 S points gain, you know, it just led me to believe that I think that's what you've got to do. You've got to find the antenna that actually suits your location. Not all antennas. Most antennas will work fine. You stick any antenna up, just have a go, doesn't matter what it is, whether it's horizontal, vertical, radials, you know, just put an antenna up, a bit of wire, and it'll probably work. But like me, if you want to, you know, if you want to go in the air and use the amateur license to get round the world. That was always my thing. When I first started and got licensed, I wanted to talk to people around the world. And when I was in England, yeah, fair enough. I spoke to people in England and Europe and all that. But my ultimate goal was I always wanted to get round the world, no matter where I was. I wanted to get long distance QSOs. That's what I find is exciting to me. And these very, very simple antennas, bits of pole, bits of wire, for me work well. And I say there's another 5 people who have tried the same system, and 4 of them have found it's absolutely. One of them, a guy in Denmark, he put the elevated vertical up, just a single vertical with a few radials, and immediately after about half a year trying to work me, and I couldn't hear him, immediately that weekend he came on and he was 5 and 5 with me straight away. It made such a huge difference that he found it really surprising that such a simple antenna that he just put up in half an hour. Give him the opportunity to work VK in New Zealand, which he had done before with good propagation and a bit of luck. But now I can work him pretty much every week just by finding the right antenna to suit your location. And I think that's all it is. Just as I say, there's lots and lots of people on YouTube with this antenna. This is fantastic, and no, don't do this one because this is better. And if I go portable, this one always is better than anything else. And that's the thing. Don't take it for granted. Have a go. Think to yourself, yeah, I put their antenna up, and it was okay, but it wasn't much better than the other one I tried. So the antenna that you have might be the best that you'll ever have, but there's no harm getting bits of wire and trying. Go out in the garden, and as I say, if you can get on the grey line just works wonders for me. And obviously, I do a lot of Morse code. That also helps. I filter down to 50 hertz, cut all the noise out. I can hear signals that are 2, 2 and 9, 3, 3 and 9, stuff like this. And then then obviously you hear people Morse code or CW. Oh, I'm never going to learn that. But you can. I I say to people, probably for a lot of people, doing a basic driving test was quite a challenge for them, and and learning Morse code is not that difficult. You just listen to sounds, have a bit of practice each day, and it's soon before you know it, you realise that you're on the air and you're talking to me in New Zealand, and that makes me really, really happy. I keep saying the same thing really, but I talk to people in England and they say, "Oh, Brian, thanks, great DX and great to hear New Zealand." But they got to remember, it's great DX for me as well. For me to have a bit of wire in the garden and manage to get a signal around to England, like I'm in the chair, I want to jump up and down, but I can't leave the Morse key because I think I've gone mad. But it's great DX for me, and that's what I enjoy about it. Anybody that can have a go. I do work. Some people have big amplifiers, huge big towers, and all these things, and they're the 5.9 plus 20, 25 and that. But if some guy comes on with 5 watts, I've talked to a couple of people who work in England with a bit of wire and 5 watts, and when they're coming through, I'm absolutely delighted. I think it's great. Don't go spending all your money on all the things, and you don't have to get 5.9 all the time. I get 4 and 4. If I get 5 and 1, I'm happy. If someone hears me, I'm happy. I wouldn't start put up big towers. I've got the space here. I could put a big tower up. I could put a 40-meter 2-element Yagi up. But I get more fun out of the challenge of getting through just with bits of wire and a few elevated radials. Yeah, it's a great hobby. I really love it, and the more and more I talk to other people that they've just got a basic station like mine, the more and more I enjoy the hobby. I think it's brilliant. They've gone out there, gone in the garden, they've had a go. They've had a go. They haven't just said, "Oh, I'm going to buy it." I'm going to buy. Excuse me. They're going to buy a tower and a big beam and a big amplifier, and that'll get me 5.9 every time. And funny enough, I actually heard a guy on the radio just a couple of days ago. He was in England. I won't tell you his call sign, but he was working the station in Europe, and the station in Europe said he gave him good signal. He said, "Yeah, you're 5 and 7 on 20-meter sideband." And the English guy immediately said, "Oh, hang on, I'll put the amplifier on because I just like 5 and 9 plus in the logbook, Oh boy, but yeah, have a go. It's fun. Get out there, try a bit of wire. Anyway, I've spouted on too long, and but I'm so enthusiastic about the hobby and about people like myself who just do have simple wire antennas and get just great results. As I say, I try to think of the call sign off, and a lot of people are working in the UK, but Pete, I think it's M3KXZ, is it? 5 watts from England, and I'm giving him a 5 and 7 report. He's got a bit of wire outside. Boy, that's sounds a bit silly in a sense generally, but that's what I call real radio. CW, bit of wire, grey line, and yeah, I'm looking forward to getting on the radio later and having another go to see who I can pick up.
You're very strong here. You're 5.9 plus 10 dB here. Into the red all the time. Into the red on the meter all the time there. Thanks for interaction. You're 10 degrees makes a hell of a difference in that small bonder. So I think we're on you there now, right? And I think you're 5.9. You're 5.9 plus, you're right. I'll give you a more accurate signal your next transmission, over.
CSL Brian, very nice top indeed. A beautiful signal and also beautiful audio. Is very